Imagine spending decades behind the wheel, only to find yourself struggling financially when you can no longer drive. What happens when the daily hustle ends? Good day, everyone. Welcome to Jai Secure.
On today's episode, we are going to have an overview of National Pension Regulatory Authority's role in Ghana's pension scheme. Stay tuned and enjoy.
Joining me today is a seasoned expert in pension planning at NPRA. Could you please
introduce yourself and your role here at NPRA?
My name is Frank Anderson. I'm the External Manager for Corporate Affairs.
So please, what is the role of NPRA in regards to pension schemes in Ghana?
The role of NPRA is to supervise and regulate the three-tier pension scheme. Okay, so anything that has to do with the three-tier pension scheme, NPRA regulate it and supervise whatever happens within that space. Mm-hmm. So we regulate SNET and regulate those private companies that are doing pensions. We register pension schemes as well.
All right. And please, can you do a quick breakdown on the three-tier plans?
Well, so the three-tier pension scheme is a three-level pension scheme. We have the first tier, second tier, and the third tier. The first tier is the Social Security scheme. That is the basic national Social Security scheme with SNET. That's what SNET is doing now. It's mandatory for every worker in Ghana. If you are a worker, you are a former sector worker, and you are working, it's mandatory that you join. So all those people, the employer will be paying contributions on their behalf. That is the first tier. And the first tier pays a monthly pension for those who have gone on retirement and other related benefits such as survivor's benefit and validity. So that is what they do. Okay, they pay to people, and then you can join the scheme when you are 15 years and above. But you can't join the scheme for the first time if you are above 45 years. If you are above 45, you can't join the scheme because the scheme requires 15 years of contribution before you can get your monthly pension. So if you are more than 15 years, it will not be beneficial for you to join, so you can't join. Right? It's managed by SNET. When you come to the tier 2, we call it second tier occupational pension scheme or work-based pension scheme because it's within the institution, it's within the company. So NPRA, for instance, can set up our tier 2 scheme. Okay. When it comes to the tier 2, the contribution rate that goes to the tier 2 is 5%. 5% to the tier 2 and then 13.5% to the SNET scheme. And then the tier 2 pays lump sum. When we say lump sum, it's a lump, one big money, then that's the end. So for SNET pays monthly pension over 15 years. After 15 years, then if the person is still alive, SNET will continue to pay the person till the person dies. Okay, but within the 15 years, if anything happens to that person, SNET will pay the remaining of his pension to his dependent. And the third tier has 2 or 3 different schemes. You have the Provident Fund scheme, then you have a personal pension scheme under the third tier. Okay, and the second and third tier are managed by trustees, not SNET. They are managed by, even though SNET is a trustee, SNET is a corporate trustee, it's a trustee company. We also have other trustee companies who are managing the tier 2 and tier 3. Okay, there are about 27 companies who are doing that. So any institution, any company can decide to join any of those private companies for their tier 2 to be managed by them. Okay, you also have an option to do it yourself. Like NPRA, the institution can do it by itself. We NPRA here, we can decide to set up our pension board trustees to manage our tier 2 within the institution for us, instead of going to give it to the third party, the corporate trustee to do it for us.
Is the tier 2 also open to informal sector workers?
No, the tier 2 is not open to informal sector.
So the first tier and the second tier are for the formal sectors alone?
Yes, they not necessarily, but the SNET, informal sector workers can do SNET as voluntary contributors. Okay, but for the tier 2 is solely for formal sector workers. But first and second tier are compulsory for formal sector workers. The contributions are put together and split. Okay, the employee contribute 5.5% from his salary, then the employer top up with 13%. So the two are put together and split to the first and second tier. So anyone who has in the formal sector who has the first tier automatically also has the second tier.
All right. Okay. So how do pension schemes work for people in the informal sector?
So we have a special scheme for them that's under the third tier. Okay, we call it personal pension schemes. Okay, under that schemes, a group can join the scheme as a group personal pension scheme, and the individuals can also join the personal pension scheme. And these are managed by the trustees. Okay, which have been licensed by NPRA. we have given them the license to manage the pension funds. So they have set up a scheme and we have registered those schemes. Okay, so they are operating. So they will meet you, sell the idea to you, the personal pension to you. So when you buy it, then you join. Just like somebody comes to you like insurance. Somebody comes to you and wants you to join insurance. If the person sells the product to you, if you are interested, then you join. The same thing. That they come to you, they sell the personal pension scheme to you. If you're interested, then you join. It's a voluntary scheme. Nobody forces anybody to join. You understand? But the group you can have a Cocoa Farmers Association. Cocoa farmers can join. They can form a pension scheme, Cocoa Farmers Pension Scheme. They can have a Trotro Drivers Pension Scheme, GPRTU Pension Scheme for all drivers. You understand? And these are all groups, informal, that within the informal, they can also form a group and then have their pension.
All right. So during this process of our research, my team and I have been to GPRT, we've spoken to some drivers and all of that, and majority of them are not under any pension scheme at all. But here is the case whereby they contribute a lot to our economy as well, and they retire without any plans for their future. So we would like to know, why is it important for informal workers, with emphasis on commercial drivers, to have a structured retirement plan?
That's a very good, very structured question. Yes. It's important for them to have pension, because you cannot be driving all through to your death. There will be a time that you cannot drive again. Your waist, you can't drive again, so you have to go and rest. At that time, that's when pension comes in to support you. So your maker calls you. So if you don't plan for that time, if you decided that you don't care about pension is for formal sector workers, we formal sector workers, we don't care about it, and you decided to use your money, it's finished. At the time that you are old, you have your waist, you cannot drive again, you can't even stretch you can't even stand up. That's a time that you need that support. And if you don't do that, you're going to suffer to your death. So it is very important for everyone, those in the informal sector, especially the drivers, to join the pension scheme, so that at the time that you are weak, you can't drive again, pensions will come in to support you. Not just for formal workers. Every worker is allowed or have opportunity to join pension.
Okay, so finally, seeing that NPRA is in charge of regulating all the scheme providers, so would like to know, what are the differences between the SNIT informal sector and other private sector providers? Are there any major differences?
The difference is that SNIT uses a rate for computation of their benefits. So if you are a formal sector contributor, for instance, me, if I'm contributing to SNIT, I contribute 13.5% to SNIT. Okay. So if I contribute, my contribution to SNIT, if my contribution to SNIT is 1,000 Ghana cedis, that 1,000 Ghana cedis represent 13.5% of my salary. Okay. The same way, if somebody is in the informal sector and he pays 100 Ghana cedis, SNIT will have to deduce the salary that will give you 200 Ghana cedis as 13%. You understand? So that person who is in the informal sector paying, it's a bit difficult for that person. And more so, when you are contributing to SNIT requires you to contribute for 15 good years before you can enjoy pension. And most of our people in the informal sector, for them to contribute consistently for 15 years, it will be difficult. To have someone in the informal sector to continue consistently for 15 years. Okay. So maybe, even though you can do 5 years, go and rest, go and do another 2 years, rest another 2 years, at least. But for 15 years, that is difficult. But for the personal pension scheme, you don't need any specific amount. You can contribute to any amount. You can contribute daily, 1 cedi every day, or 5 Ghana cedis every day. If you get 2 cedis every day, you can pay. If you get 3 cedis tomorrow, you can pay. If you get 50 Ghana cedis the following day, you can pay. But I can't do that with SNIT. You understand? SNIT, you have to contribute consistently, a particular amount for a month. If you want to increase it, you can increase it at the later stage. But this one, even when you get the bulk money, even if you get a bulk money, you happen to get some chance and you happen to get some business that you're able to make money that very day, you can go and put everything there. So it's flexible enough to accommodate any kind of savings, any kind of mode of payment that you want.
So there you have it. You have to contribute to SNIT consistently, and it is feasible enough to accommodate any kind of payment you want in SNIT. That's all for this episode. Thank you to our guest, Mr. Frank Anderson, for sharing valuable insights into the world of NPRA and pension planning for commercial drivers.
Thank you for staying with us. Stay tuned.